Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's the evening of October the 10th, and I am continuing my second trip to Kansas this fall. I was on quite a few bucks back at home, but it rained yesterday, today, and it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. So I actually got a tip from my friend Jack about a big deer that saw last Wednesday morning go right into where I hunted back on September the 22nd. So between the rain and that most recent information, I decided to head west. That being said, it's been pretty slow so far. I hunted yesterday evening. The landowner was shelling the beans, and it was extremely hot. So I hunted on the creek crossing, and I saw one buck that was probably a 2-year-old, maybe a 3-year-old, and quite a few does and young bucks. And that was that. This morning, I snuck back into that same stand, but everything was already tucked into its bed by the time it got good light. I only saw one deer, and it was a doe out here in the distance. But I mixed it up tonight. I decided to back up and sit where Lee and Matt were on our first trip, and I'm going to be able to see a lot more from here. The conditions are perfect. I can see a lot of this cut corn. I've got a southeast wind at 7 or 8 miles an hour, just stiff enough, and it feels good. The last time I hunted this spot was back in, I think it was 2017. Me and Nick sat here and we saw some pretty nice bucks. So I don't know. I've got a lot of confidence in it. It's a cool spot. Hopefully I can show y'all some deer tonight. Well, if I would have did what I came here to do, I'd be standing over a world-class deer right now. That's frustrating. Deer walked out the trail that I've been hunting. The last 3 times I've sat in a tree in Kansas, I've sat over that trail. And I moved back here so I could see tonight, and watched him walk out there just in disbelief. Everything about me knew that that would work, and I had so much confidence in it. And the wind was right, and there's no excuse for why I'm not in it. I just kind of decided I wanted to get where I could see, and it just cost me big time. I mean big time. It's a bummer. The wind's going to be right again tomorrow, but it's going to be really strong. It's calling for like 20 miles an hour. And it was gusting pretty bad yesterday when I was in there, and it wasn't blowing quite that hard, so it's swirling pretty hard. So I don't know. I may have just made a huge mistake, but maybe the good Lord will still give me an opportunity. Well, that's a wrap. Yesterday he did come back to haunt me. Could have shot that. I think that was a 3-year-old buck, 10-point. I had him right there at point blank, like inside of 20. But definitely ain't what I'm looking for. So till November the 16th. Peace out, Kansas. Thank y'all for watching Midwest Whitetail.
Well, it's hard to believe today is October the 17th. We had a nice little cool front push through this morning down here in the deep south, so we decided to run over here to this new farm that we have in Mississippi and put out some redneck feeders and try to go ahead and get some inventory going over here. We had a couple cameras out, and we're going to pull the cards and check those cards before we leave, but our main focus was to go ahead and get those redneck feeders full so that when we leave to head back to Illinois for the next couple of weeks, the deer have plenty to feed on, and maybe we can start getting some good solid inventory now that the deer have shed their velvet and maybe going into their fall ranges. So speaking of Illinois, we had the opportunity last weekend to go up. Josh Sparks and I decided to take Casing up and during the youth season to see what we could do and see if we could get Casing on a buck, but unfortunately it was very, very warm, 85 degrees some days while we were there, and so we saw a couple small bucks and a lot of does. So there at the end of the season, that Sunday, I decided to shoot a doe just to get some meat. Looked like we've got a really good deer herd this year on that farm, and now our focus is going to start shifting towards trying to get on Samson. He's our #1 hit list buck. If you guys watched the show last year, you know that I was after him pretty much all season. I got a crack at him November the 2nd and unfortunately misranged him and shot over his back. But he'll be a 7.5-year-old buck. We guesstimated him last year to be in the mid-180s, and we're hoping he's probably going to be somewhere around that same size this year. But nevertheless, 7.5-year-old buck, it don't really matter to me. Just being able to close the chapter on that story would be phenomenal. So we're going to continue to focus on him. So while we were there, we moved some cameras around and kind of started getting ready to get set up on him the last week of October. But anyway, we've had a great season so far. Hadn't been in the woods a whole lot outside of taking Casing last weekend, but our excitement is high, our enthusiasm is high, and we're looking forward to getting back to Illinois and getting in a deer stand, in the next couple of weeks. So we'll try to keep you guys updated as we continue to work on this new farm and put pieces together over the next couple of months. And hopefully here before long we'll have 1 or 2 hit listers on this farm as well that we can share with you guys. But as always, we appreciate you tuning in to Midwest Whitetail, and we look forward to seeing you right back here again next episode.